What a fun Gen Z time we're having.
They can't handle it.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's impossible. It can't be done.
Here's a list of 10 things about the 70s that Gen Z couldn't handle today. 1. Vanishing for an entire day. That's right, kids actually vanished in the 1970s.
That is pretty scary.
A typical 70s kids' day might have involved leaving the house after eating a mountain of Count Chocula and not returning until the streetlights came on. There were no cell phones, no scheduled playdates, and no GPS tracking. Parents would just yell, "Be home for dinner," as you ran out the door, and then trust you to figure it out. 2. Not having a remote control. You know that handy device you use to change the channel from the comfort of the couch? It didn't exist.
That's crazy.
Instead, the youngest person in the house often served as the remote and was tasked with physically getting up and changing the channel.
You wouldn't understand. You're just a kid.
They would also adjust the rabbit ear antennas, which often required wrapping them in half a roll of tinfoil to get a clear picture just so you could watch Creature double feature without a snowstorm. 3. Drinking from a garden hose. Forget bottled water or a filtered water bottle. If you were thirsty after playing outside for hours in the 70s, the most convenient option was to just get a drink straight from the garden hose. The water was often warm, lifeless, and tasted a little like rubber, but it got the job done.
Don't drink that!
4. Making a mixtape from the radio. To create a playlist of your favorite songs, you had to get a portable cassette player and wait for your song to come on the radio.
Man, this is taking forever.
The art was in having your finger on the record button and pressing it at the exact moment the DJ stopped talking, then lifting it before the commercial started. You had to be quick and patient, and a little bit of talking or a commercial always seemed to make it on the tape.
It's ruined!
5. Riding bikes without helmets.
Do you have any idea how dangerous that is?
Helmets for bikes were simply not a thing in the 70s. Kids would ride double on bikes, create ramps out of plywood, and race down steep hills at warp speed with no padding or head protection. Road rash and scraped knees were just a normal part of life, not to mention mom or dad pouring half a jug of hydrogen peroxide down your arm as you stood there amazed at the foaming action. Emergency room visits were strictly reserved only if your arm got chewed off by the neighbor's dog. 6. Using a rotary phone.
It's a rotary phone. You spin it.
To make a call in the 70s, you had to put your finger in each number's hole and spin the dial all the way to the right before letting it go. It was a tedious process, especially if you had to dial a lot of 8s or 9s. And if you needed to call someone long distance, that was a whole new level of expensive and complicated. 7. Dealing with being bored. With no smartphone, endless streaming content, or video games, being bored was a regular part of life.
I'm already bored out of my mind.
Kids were left to their own devices and had to get creative. This might involve laying on the grass and staring at clouds, building a fort out of blankets, jumping up and down to test the Earth's gravity, or digging a hole just to see how deep it would go. We knew enough not to dig too deep because we were told by our parents we'd end up in China. 8. Handling your own disputes. There were no adults supervising every game of kickball or hide-and-seek back in the 70s. If a fight broke out, you had to learn to settle it yourself.
That little snot boy, I'd like to smack that kid.
Whether it was a shouting match or a physical scuffle, you were expected to work it out with your friends on your own. There was no one to complain to, no one holding a smartphone recording the whole thing. And there were no timeouts from the game. It was pure survival on the Serengeti Plains. 9. Doing your own research. When you had a school project, there was no Google, no Wikipedia, and no Siri.
It was horrible, Rupert. It was like a nightmare.
Instead, you had to go to the library and use the card catalog to find a book with the information you needed. If you were lucky, you had the luxury of a full set of encyclopedias at home that you could pore over.
We were Pharaoh's slaves, forced to do all sorts of labor.
10. Taking a road trip without a tablet. Road trips were a test of patience. The back seat was entertainment-free, and you were stuck with whatever was on the radio. Kids would find ways to entertain themselves by playing license plate games, staring out the window, or trying to avoid getting socked in the arm every time someone saw a Volkswagen Bug. Getting carsick while smelling cigarette smoke in the back seat was a rite of passage. Seatbelts were optional.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
These are the 10 things about the 70s that Gen Z couldn't handle today. Are there any that we forgot? Leave your memories of 70s life in the comment section below. And if you liked this blast to the past, then why not give the video a thumbs up? Together we can fight the evil algorithm. If you liked the content, why not subscribe and get on board the love train of nostalgia? See ya on the next one.